welcome to the MMZ Gaming YouTube channel. Today we are playing Granny on Extreme Mode. Turn the volume down a little bit loud. Let's get into it. Alright, we're on day 1. Let's see if we can survive the first day. Now, usually my strategy on day 1 is to pick up the vase, take the flashlight, and head all the way downstairs to the kitchen first thing, because Granny is not locked on straight away. Open these 4 cabinets, nothing in them this time, and I don't know why I opened the cabinet, even though there's nothing in it. So then I open the gate, so I won't have to open it later in case I'm being chased. I go in here, I drop the vase and pick up the gasoline, so I'll know when Granny knocks on the door that she's coming out here. Granny was right behind me, and as I'm running away, I find the weapon key, which is very crucial if you want to beat Granny 1 on Extreme Mode. I also collect the chain cutters, and I'm going to throw them inside of the door, so I can get Granny killed. Now that we see Granny go past, I can get out and shut the door, except for I accidentally opened the door again, which could have got me killed easily if Granny was just a little bit more alert. We can pick up the weapon key and start the one up. And the thing about killing Granny down here that's really good is that it takes her quite a while to get killed, and then you've got 15 seconds plus the time that it's going to take for her to die. I can also check these 2 drawers. I ended up taking too long to go do the weapon key, so I went back to go get the chain cutters so I could cut the locks on the door and the one in the basement. I'm also going to go back outside so I can make a noise to just make sure that Granny's not going to be there when I go to the front door. With Granny now outside, I have plenty of time to pick up the weapon key and do what I was meant to do 30 seconds ago. Meanwhile, checking if there's anything in the drawers on the way past. After checking the cupboard with Teddy in it, I decided to use the weapon key to obtain the crossbow and wait for Granny. After shooting Granny, I now had the house to myself for 15 more seconds, so I decided to pick up the book and move it about 15 centimeters. Now, I'm not familiar with item spawn locations, but I did know that the part of the shotgun and the padlock code would be down there. Go away again for another 15 seconds. When is she going to learn this is a trap? Once again, Granny fell victim to my evil item dropping scheme. After transporting all of the items to the basement, I could scavenge her ham room. Or the crow room. I honestly have no idea what people call this room. In the room I find the remote control and I go to put it with the other stuff in the basement. I made a noise in the ham room and waited outside for Granny to respond so that I could explore the other parts of the house knowing she wouldn't be there. This allowed me to take the book and I was able to get just enough time to place it on the pedestal. I've added this clip as a useful shortcut that you should know about. Using this I was able to get the items that I put in the basement without Granny knowing that I was in the basement. I also picked up this engine part from the room with the Granny book in it. I made a noise in the basement so that I could shoot Granny and then use the padlock code to unlock one of the locks on the door. I also told myself that I had enough time to do the remote control as well, if I could make up the stairs. You know, I'm starting to think that we're the evil ones in this game. We're always shooting Granny. Decided to explore the entire kitchen to see if there was anything to eat. I mean, you know. I then nailed shooting the screwdriver off first try. Obviously then throwing it down in the basement. I did this to disable something of the front door. I have no idea what that is. Then shot Granny for the 15th time this episode. Throwing the screwdriver took the longest time. I had to wait for Granny to respawn again. I hadn't found the hammer all game, so I decided to use the strategy of throwing the cutters at the board, but that didn't work because the cutters kept following me. After being a coward for 2 minutes, I tried to actually make this an entertaining video. This did not end well. Alright, day 2. Let's see if I can be any more boring than myself in day 1. I got the car key from downstairs after trucking it from the top floor, and I used it to get the melon. And now inside of the melon, I got the spark plug, which might actually be useful because I might actually go in the car. I am now going to show you me filling up the car with the gasoline. I then remembered that I had found the padlock key, so I decided to take that off the front door. I then have one of my stupidest deaths ever by just jumping out of the car before Granny leaves the room. So silly, bro. That wasn't a long day too. I think the developer needs to fix the game because I don't like having to hide under the table at the start of every single new round. You literally have to wait for 5 minutes for Granny to start belting on the back door before you can even leave. I went back upstairs to go and collect the wrench because if I was going to escape out the car I would have to go and collect it. Granny saw me on the way out though, so I had to be very, very vigilant. I don't know why I'm doing this the hard way. I have the crossbow, I don't know why I'm not using it anymore. I went back to the basement and decided to trap Granny in the sauna so I'd have the maximum amount of time to use the wrench without her being there. All I needed now was the car battery and I was out of this nightmare. My least favourite part of this entire game has to be the Granny Spider area, so that's the only place I have to go to and I don't want to. Granny Spider always starts by running across, so it means you can loot 2 of the boxes knowing that she won't be there because she's just darted past. Obviously though, there was nothing in either of them. My low attention span then caught up with me. Honestly, this has been the worst run I've had in a while. I'm usually a lot better at this game, I swear. Alright lads, it's day 4, there is practically no room for error, so let's not make a single mistake, yeah? I went back down to the spider cage with the wheel crank to find the car battery just in the corner. Alright then. Fortunately, I didn't really need a plan because the car was just right there. So all I had to do was put the car battery in and then I could just go. Granny ended up spotting me and I didn't know what was going to happen, so I just kept trying to drive as fast as I could. Until I actually just ran her over, so I guess that works. And this looks like it's going to be a free win, to be honest. This video took hours to record. Please subscribe.